I think ESG is a fundamental part of being a listed business, but what is really important for us is not so much about what we report and how we report it, but more actually what we do and how we integrate it within our strategy. And I think one of the main messages we're trying to get across today is we'd like to be able to engage more with investors on the topic and be able to explain better what we're doing rather than just publishing number and then having an investor looking into them and then incorporate them into their pricing model. This is the only way you can actually manage ESG as an investor. You cannot just rely on data. It's much more complex than finance, much more complex than just reading a balance sheet. And life is not black and white, unlike accounting. Life is gray, and you need to understand all the shades of gray out there and understand how it works. If you solely rely on numbers or solely rely on data, I think you're missing the story itself. You're missing what the company is actually trying to do, what its culture is, and how it's trying to embed its action in ESG within its culture. And that's a fundamental part of what ESG should be. And I'm kind of trying as much as possible when I engage with investor to engage on that topic. I think it's a fundamental thing for investor to grab the differences between two companies, which might produce the same number, but come from a completely different point of view and a completely different story. And it's a very, very difficult thing to grab within ESG, whereby it might be easier if you just look at financials. I mean, one of the main arguments we were making in our ESG report in the past is our feeling is a lot of investors have not yet invested enough into the topic. They just started, whereby companies are much more advanced in their thinking, in their positioning. And so they start to be a kind of disconnect between where we stand and where investors stand. And our thought process is probably a little bit more advanced than where they are. And my hope is that most of the investors are going to be able to catch up soon.